You know, we have been there before now, and I mean the conflict between the Lagos State authorities and commercial motorcyclists. A timeline of the banning of these irritants would help somewhat at this point. 3 times before now, on the 27th of January 2020, May 10, 2021, and June 7 last year, selected prohibitions of the motorcyclists were ordered by the state government to arrest or stem the untold levels of suffering by victims of carnages and unruly cyclists. The implementation of the latest ban in 6 local government areas, of course we'll give you the list, has led to the seizure of about 200 motorcycles, which has provoked a rash of protests in the Alaba Rago axis of Badagry expressway. Obviously, GKB, you expect something like this.
Yeah, we've been here before, like you said. My prayer is that 3rd term or 4th term will be the charm. Because for 3 governments now, they've not been able to really solve this problem effectively.
Yeah.
During the Fashola administration, there was a semblance of the...
But I think he dealt somewhat with it.
Yeah, it was very decisive. The government of Fashola was very decisive when it comes to... Not only was he getting them off the roads, he was getting them out of the states. He was packaging some of who think that have criminal elements, put them inside buses, and taking them to the nearest border, wherever they feel comfortable. Which, of course, led to people going to court to ask whether it is constitutional.
Yeah.
As they have freedom to move anywhere they are. But you and I know majority of these people are not even Nigerians. So they enjoy
I've heard that.
They enjoy no such rights and no such privileges.
Yeah.
But it's just that I think Mr. Sanwo-Olu has been trying very hard to run a government with a human face, as the saying goes. And he's looking out for the little man. But this, of course, have been abused by these people over the last, like you said.
Yeah.
It started in 2020. Last year again, it was done. Now we are here. But it never really stopped, because if you have been following the news, you realize the fact that almost every week the task force will seize motorcycles and they will destroy them.
Yeah.
But as the Yorubas will say, if the water pass Gary, it becomes something else. And now the thing has become a monster.
Oh, yeah.
That requires basically more than just lip service.
Emeka, but we see this monster coming, you know, when the influx of the autocyclists from different parts of wherever, goodness knows wherever. We thought it was a ticking time bomb. So here we are.
Well, it's unfortunate that we allowed the breakdown of policy on public infrastructure, transportation, and all of that made a place like Lagos, the center of excellence, to now be swamped by motorcycles. These are things that have been banned in other places. El-Rufai banned it in Abuja. Oshomole banned it in Benin.
Cross River State, Akwa Ibom.
Yeah, even where this thing started, because I remember when I was in school, University of Uyo, when we had
it started in my area. And you people never give us kudos or credit.
Congratulations.
But you have banned it. So now, Lagos, the center of excellence, that has, you know, to be honest, that has led in different areas.
Yeah.
Now appears to be helpless concerning this simple matter. It's an interventionist measure.
Yeah.
Which was just to bridge a gap, transportation gap. Now you had those big bikes that were ferrying people, and you came up and said, no, these things are dangerous, and it is not befitting for an international city, a business destination like Lagos, an investment destination like Lagos. Now, why did you allow the
Lagos
gap?
at a point had this metropolitan dream, you know.
Yeah, Lagos has never been
mega city.
Lagos has never been in short supply of good policies. The only problem is that in between there appear to be gaps, And those gaps, you see, Lagos is a dream destination for so many people, just like a lot of cities around the world. New York, Johannesburg, name it, are dream cities. So if you allow any gap in the way you run the metropolitan side particularly, you will see people who will move in to take advantage of that lacuna.
Nature does not like evacuation.
That is it. So the point is this: Lagos State government should just implement its policy. The policies are there.
Yeah.
It's not as if Governor Sanwo-Olu needs to go and start thinking of what to do. The policies are there. Just be courageous and have the political will to implement it. Motorcycles should not be seen in a place like Lagos. Yes, you might say, okay, in China or in Japan, they use bicycles. Yeah, but we know provision is made for such. The lanes are wide. There are provisions for such. You see cities in Europe, in the United States, you see people.
Emeka, have you been to? I don't know how long ago you got to Benin Republic.
Yeah, just next door.
Yeah.
They have a lane for motorbikes.
A lane for motorcycles.
Fine.
And you dare not move to
if you are going to allow that, that's why I'm saying Lagos is not in short supply, and Lagos is a fertile ground for investment. What you do, if you think you don't want to outrightly ban them because you have not put in place adequate infrastructure to move the over 22 million people in Lagos, fine, work out something. If it is the extra lane, after all, you have a lane for BRT. You can now work out a lane. And then the type of bikes you want on the road and work out something. But the point is this: don't throw away the opportunity that any such challenge presents. If you are going to ban these people, make sure that before you ban them totally, you have something, you have a viable replacement. Otherwise, you will just go back to square one. You heard what the Hausa community said. Unban them so that we'll give you massive votes. Yes, votes. People always pander to their own interests. But I think I wish the governor well. I hope he can take advantage.
So at that point, there's a critical choice to make here: the votes or no votes.
Because people are already saying that. Don't worry, by election time now, all of them will come back to the streets.
Okay, Gani, I think I dare say Emeka seems to have forgotten that Lagos State has a law in place against riding or driving against traffic.
Yeah, but against traffic, on the express road, on bridges. The laws are very specific.
No arrest had been made. I haven't heard of any.
No arrests were made. Like you said, they are not really consistent. It's this lack of consistency that led to where we are today. Because when you introduced the topic, we knew this was coming. It's not rocket science. We knew that if these things are not checked. Like I said, 2-3 governors ago, they started what they call the Lagos State registration something.
Yes, LASTRA.
It requires that you have a LASTRA card to do certain things in Lagos.
Yeah.
And we thought this would be a good check to ensure that only those who fit into the
Do we keep data in this country?
Well, we have figures that we throw about whenever we require it. But you cannot stop people from coming to Lagos. I once told the former commissioner, and I've told the current commissioner this. If you cannot stop people coming to Lagos, then you must outthink them.
Yes.
That's why you are in government.
Must have a place for everybody.
For example, if you say, okay, we are on paper 22 million in Lagos, and then you project 30 million by 2034. So when Jakande was governor, I keep going back to that. People think Jakande realized that by starting LASU and LASPOTEC, he must find a way for them to work. Because he was looking beyond that. That, okay, I started the university, I started the polytechnic, or I inherited the polytechnic. What will happen to them in 5 years? What will happen to them in 10? So you have to make provisions for a Lagos of 30 million people. You have to provision for a Lagos of 40 million people. That's the only way to keep ahead of the challenge that we face.
May I just tease you a little? If the last government in Lagos had did a little job on the monorail thing, the Fashola government started, we would have been somewhere. I may be wrong.
Again, when I say this, people think that you are comparing other countries to us. There is something called monoclass, in San Francisco. And San Francisco is a very hilly city. goes up and down. Yeah, they have these monocars where they put rail lines, the tiny ones, right inside the roads.
Yes.
And then it goes.
Yeah.
There are so many solutions. While we are waiting for that to come. Even that one I'm talking about can drag nothing less than 15, 16 cars or cargoes or whatever you call it, with just one engine, because it's on a rail system. It was in Lagos when we were growing up, you know. It's still in Apapa before it was overtaken. In Ikeja, I'm sure if you go through that, I don't know what they call that, near Guinness, you still meet it.
Yes.
Where the lines are there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's what our ancestors left to us. It's our inability to maintain and grow on it. There's no using Okada is not really peculiar to Lagos. It happens in Jakarta.
Yes.
But they have laws to guide this. You are registered. You must have a number. Your name must be clear. So if the person is after you, they will know it's Mr. A.
But in addition to allowing you ride and make money in Lagos, the next thing it would be in addition to that would be the safety wahala. Safety, you know. Perhaps Emeka seems to have forgotten the deadline is June 1st for the bikes
for the 6 local governments.
You see, it's funny.
Oh, what's funny? The date.
What is funny is you keep putting up dates. You will do this. You will bring bikes, and the people keep bringing in bikes. You seize bikes, you seize tricycles, and the people keep bringing more. So what do you do? What you have to do is this. I think the State House of Assembly should maybe call a public hearing. Invite experts from different areas to say, okay, let's even sit down and discuss, take one day to discuss Okada in Lagos. Do we want to outrightly ban Okada? Now, do we have the necessary infrastructure? I thought, for instance, we would have transitioned to this 7-seater, what they call a korokwe. Not even the keke. I don't even like that keke. I felt, why don't we start assembling this korokwe, which is 7-seater, it has a door, even though it's light.
It's compact.
It's compact, so it can go into the inner cities, the inner areas. You don't need to have korokwe on the highway, on Lagos Badagry expressway and all that. Let these things feed the inner city. So in such a way, you can have everybody in the mix. Then gradually you phase Okada out if you have to do so.
Because we must go to the next subject matter. Just before we go, quickly, mine is safety. I don't know the last time you went to the orthopedic hospital, you see victims of autobike accidents and all that. That's another critical angle.
Yeah, I agree with, don't get me wrong, I agree with the governor that.
I hear somebody is on the line. I'm not getting feedbacks and so on. But who's online? Good evening. Welcome.
Hi, how are you? My name is Tayo from Ilori.
Ayo Ilori, welcome. I'm sorry, there's no contact. So
All right.
yeah,
I'm greeting you, intelligent gentlemen.
go on.
My own contribution, if you don't mind, is every one of them should, my own opinion, should be banned. If you check on all of them, and the countries the other guy was mentioning, they're using the bike, they're using motorcycles, they use them to control the environment. The bikes in Nigeria is damaging the environment totally. Nigerians, we are not that educated about it more. Everybody just want to ride a bike.
Yeah.
And the bikes are not licensed enough, they're not insured.
Yeah,
And besides,
Tayo, essentially you are talking about orderliness and nothing else. We share the sentiment. Yeah.
if they have an accident, there is no insurance. So who you going to ask?
Well,
And
you know,
I heard
the more questions than answers. Yeah. Tayo, thank you. Thank you very kindly for your time.
Yeah.
But you see, have some countries like India that use this these bikes, you know.
Yeah.
in Jakarta. The point, that's what I said, the Lagos House of Assembly should sit down, should hold a public hearing. So that if you are going to face, like you can't start kicking people out of Lagos. You can't pack them and throw them out. That would be unconstitutional. So find a way to get these things off the roads. And then...
Well, that's the law.
Is
that's
it an
the law that they
opportunity?
No, Rebecca, that's the law they refuse to implement. Okadas are not meant to be on the highways. In fact, they were told specifically where to the routes that they can take. Is this lack of enforcement that's really the problem? The roads under scrutiny that we are talking now is less than 500, but they zigzag throughout the states.
Yeah.
Imagine no Okada in Apapa. Imagine no Okada in
Lagos mainland.
So once you do that on the major roads,
Yeah.
you can now isolate them, keep them in the inner roads for a while you solve the problem of co-op, as you said.
Yes.
I told somebody in the morning, I said, 1,000 co-ops will solve this problem, will reduce it by 50% in 2 months. Just bring enough co-ops and insist on the... When we were growing up in Lagos, you don't need what do they call them? The conductors to tell you. It's written on the vehicle, the route that they can take.
Yeah. All right, let's not keep a Macaulay calling from London. Good evening, Macaulay. How do you do? Welcome.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, the issue of Okada have overstayed on Lagos roads. We bet the fact that there is no job, there is nothing. But all the Okada in Lagos are constituting a heavy nuisance. I have a very practical experience. I was in Nigeria some time ago, and I had to stay in a hotel in Festac. All the Okada riders around Apapa and all the rest are interviewed personally, more than 30 of them. I lived in the north and I speak outside before coming over here.
Yeah.
All of them confessed to me that they are from Niger. If they are from Niger, what is immigration doing about them? Where is the control of these people? Look at the young man they killed with families and all the rest.
Yeah.
Why are all this happening? And most of them actually sleep on the Okada. In the night, when they pass the Okada, they sleep on the Okada. But they're taking drugs to drive those Okada. That is why there are these problems around Lagos.
Okay.
I strongly believe that there should be total ban of all the Okadas in Lagos.
Thank you, Macaulay.
Apologies about that. God bless you.
Brother Macaulay, we thank you.
I agree.
GKB, my problem here is these knee-jerk approaches can be replaced by critical thinking. You get the impression people are not thinking.
No, again, the laws are very clear. It's one of the best laws that you can get within the circumstances. The one that I think is Fashola or the next man who did the law. The major roads in Lagos are limited, actually. You know them.
Yeah.
Ikorodu Road, Lagos, Abeokuta Express Road, all the roads you
Third
know.
Mainland, yeah.
Third Mainland
Third
Bridge.
Mainland, yeah.
So, once you take them away from this, the sanity will return to a reasonable
I remember a law that said if your bike was
Less
below
than a particular
200 cc, don't put them
It
on
is
the
the
highway.
will, political will to get rid of this. That's the problem. It's the enforcement. It's not the law.
You know,
the law is fine.
Obama's wife, Michelle, said, if you don't take a decision for fear of what the reaction might be, then you won't go anywhere.
The meaning of government, the meaning of being a governor, is intervention for the generality of the goodness of the people.
Yeah.
That's the only why the only why you are there, is to intervene on the people's behalf, so their lives could be better. You cannot be afraid of little things like Okada riders. Like I said, the law, there's nothing wrong with the law. Because I took my time to talk to lawyers, and they told me, and they showed me, that this is a good law. Remove them from the expressway, remove them from the highways, remove them from all the major roads, restrict them to a corner, and then get rid of Okada totally. But you must provide enough vehicles as substitutes over time. That is what is lacking.
All right. We are joined now by, I'm glad they're coming from around the world. Alhaji Salam is reaching us from Paris. Paris is in France. Good evening, Alhaji.
See Paris and leave.
Good evening, Citizen Jones.
I greet you, sir. GKB and Emeka.
I just want to make a little contribution to the issue of Okada.
Go on.
This is the best opportunity for the Lagos State government to create more employment. I could remember in the 70s, 80s in Lagos State. I stayed in Lagos. The local government, each local government has numbers of little small buses, just like Orope. And if every local government can have at least 1 or 20 or 2,000 buses, it will create job for 4,000 workers. Because 2 drivers will be driving each bus every day, and they will employ other people. Then the local government will be forced to repair the roads. The people that are doing this Okada because they don't have to will go and do conductor or be a driver. That is how to keep Lagos clean. We have been in Lagos before. Whenever you come with Mr. Nicer, it's a problem, the Okada issue. But you can combat it. So learn from it. Create more jobs.
Yeah.
Each local government will have their buses 10 by their country. No any street you will see that
Alaji, we couldn't agree with you more, Alaji Salam. Thank you very kindly. Emeka, GKB referred earlier on to Lagos of yore. In 1977, when Festac was built, you remember it? Festac, it was see Festac and die. That Lagos is gone.
It's unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I grew up with my parents in Lagos, and Lagos was such a lovely place to be then. There were so many places you could go to in Lagos. So many places. In fact,
sorry, let me ask you quickly so I don't forget. Is it too late to do something? Is it too late?
It's not too late, but there will be a lot of political considerations in doing something. Yes, in doing something, there will be political considerations. And then you may need to flow some of the population to Ogun State. Because really Lagos is congested.
It's a very tiny place.
Then you are now also building a new Lagos. Well, before people crucify me,
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, Lagos are accommodating as many people, 22 million, 30 million, 50 million. It's okay. No problem. As long as you provide a place for everybody. I mean, the number of flights landing at Heathrow Airport minute by minute. And different busy airports, O'Hare and the rest of them, JF Kennedy, they are bringing in people into these cities. But Jackson, it's so big. In Atlanta, it's so, the airport is so big.
It's a city by itself.
Yes. So they are bringing in people, but there is provision for everybody. So Lagos, if Lagos wants to be like Atlanta, or like London, or like New York, fine. You've got to make provision for everybody. Unless the undesirable elements, you find a way to put them away.
Yeah. Because as we speak, the police, the security folks really know the black spots. They know what to do.
They do.
They know what to do. So we don't belabor the matter, but Mr. Governor, I don't envy you at this time. Yes, elections are coming next year, but please, let's do some more of critical thinking than, what do you call it?
The knee-jerk
reactions to the Okada problem is surmountable. It is. All right, we'll take a commercial break. We'll be back, but please stay there.